Have you ever taken a photo and thought, something is off, but I don't know what? Well, there's a very good chance the problem is subject separation. Let me explain. Subject separation is simply the idea that when someone looks at your photo, their eyes should know exactly where to go immediately. No guessing, no confusion, no visual noise, all because you intentionally shot that image so the subject is clearly noticeable. If the viewer has to work to find the subject, the photo already lost. This is not worthwhile though. Now, a lot of beginners hear about subject separation and immediately think of blurry backgrounds. That is wide apertures, bokeh, shallow depth of field, and yes, that is one very popular way to separate your subject from the background. It works. But here's the problem. Blur, it's only one tool, and if it's the only tool you use, you're limiting yourself more than you realize. Plus, relying on blurry backgrounds limits you to always having to use fast and usually expensive lenses. When you're starting out, chances are your lenses are not going to be very fast. So if the only way you know to make your subject pop is by using tools you don't have access to, then you're going to get frustrated with photography very quickly. So let's forget about blurry backgrounds for a minute and start considering other photography techniques. Techniques that you can apply to get better results, because subject separation can happen in many different ways. Let's start with distance. The distance between your subject and the background matters a lot. If your subject is close to the camera and the background is far away, the separation naturally increases. Even without extreme blur, the subject feels more dominant in the frame. It's a basic rule. The subject has to be closer to the camera than to the background in order for it to pop more. And this can happen in different ways. The first one, the most obvious one, is asking your client or subject to step closer to you and away from the background. This requires no camera settings, no lens has been swapped, no flashes or anything. The second one is you moving closer to the subject. Yes, believe it or not, photographers can and should move. Don't be lazy. Sometimes the solution isn't in your gear at all. Sometimes it's not glamorous, but it works. Fitness and photography. Who knew? Another big way to generate separation is through contrast. Our eyes are naturally drawn to contrast. Light against dark, dark against light. If your subject is brighter than the background or darker than the background, separation happens instantly. This is why backlighting works so well. A bright rim of light around a subject separates them from everything behind them, even if the background itself is messy. And it doesn't require fancy lighting setups or anything like that. Window light, a doorway, a street light, any difference in brightness can help your subject stand out. But backlighting is not the only way to create contrast. Think of a basic studio photographer, for instance. White backgrounds usually give the scene great separation, since your subject is probably not going to be as bright as a white wall. And it works the other way too when you have a dark or black background and a bright subject. That will result in separation by contrast also. Again, here the aperture or background blur won't matter as much because you won't even be seeing the background clearly unless that background has texture or something like that, but that's a different story. Then there's color, which is one of the most underrated tools. Color separation is powerful if your subject has a color that doesn't exist anywhere else in the frame. Then your eyes will go straight to it. This is where complementary colors come in. Keeping it simple, complementary colors are colors opposite to each other on the color wheel. Blue and orange, red and green, yellow and purple. Skin tones, for example, naturally sit in the orange range, which is why cooler backgrounds make portraits stand out so well. In food photography, a green garnish on a warm brown plate instantly draws attention. In street photography, a red jacket in a neutral scene becomes the subject whether you plan for it or not. Purposely using color when taking a photo is a great way to get strong results. And again, you don't need blur when color is doing the heavy lifting. Now let's talk about something that quietly ruins photos without people realizing it: background collisions. This happens when trees, pole signs, horizon lines, or random objects just appear to grow out of your subject's head. You've seen it. The perfect portrait and then boom, a tree branch is coming straight out of someone's skull. That's not artistic, that's unfortunate. This is something to pay attention to while you're shooting because it can take a long time to correct in post. I can't tell you how many times I had to delete things I could have just easily avoided while shooting the photos. Horizon lines, for instance, are specifically sneaky. If a horizon line cuts through someone's neck or head, it visually chops them in half. As a result, the photo feels awkward, even if everything else is technically correct. The fix is usually very simple. Move left, move right, take a step forward or back, raise the camera, lower it. The difference between a clean background and a distracting one is often just a few inches. And yes, this applies to lampposts, door frames, anything vertical in the background that wants to photobomb your subject. So take advantage of technology and use that little screen you have in the back of your camera to make sure when you're taking your photos that nothing is cutting through your subject. Another way to create subject separation is to physically move your subject. 2 steps to the side can turn a cluttered background into a clean one. Rotating someone slightly can hide distractions without changing locations. This is why awareness is more important than gear. And this brings us to the most important point of all. Once you start thinking this way, your photos will instantly feel cleaner, more intentional, and more professional. So next time you're shooting, slow down for a second. Look at your subject, then look at the background, and then look again and make a decision. If your subject isn't clearly separated, fix that first. You'll be surprised how much better your photos will look without changing your gear, your lens, or your bank account. Anyways, that's it for today. Thanks for watching, and as always, don't forget to follow Aftershoot in all of our social media to be always up to date with the latest we have to offer. See you guys in the next one. Bye.